Namaste, and welcome to our continuing series on homeopathy with our beloved Dr. Pachagavka. Namaste, sir. We've decided on launching a rather large subject, injuries, especially sports injuries, but others as well. So shall we begin with something, fractures, perhaps, fractures, yes. A large subject.
Yes. Similarly, fracture of the bone is there when there are deep injuries where the impact is very much like large impact, either fall or even overstitching. But many times, if the bones are brittle, like say in osteoporosis, there can be pathological fractures. Even without much significant injuries, the fractures can occur. But those are called as pathological fractures because they are not because of injuries, but they are because of predisposition of the bones to become brittle and then get broken.
And how does it happen? Through a fall or something like that, or it doesn't have to be a fall?
It can be a trivial provocation for that. So that we need not discuss in real injuries. But where there is deep impact and where the bone gets the main brunt, there it gives in and the fractures occur. Mainly what happens, the bones are the structures which give the frame to the body. But main balancing and movements, they are undertaken by muscles. Each muscle has tendons either originating in the bone or getting inserted in the bone. And because of contractions and relaxations of the muscles, the movements occur. Now when there is a fall, body has wonderful mechanism to work like a buffer, and body tries to minimize the damage to the deepermost structure. But sometimes if the injury is grave, then the fractures do occur. If it is like just a crack and there is no dislocation, the main approach of treatment is just to immobilize it, because the fractured parts of the bones, they are in the same position. So the anastomosis, the union is easier. Body has a mechanism to develop anastomosis and develop that ossified tissue which fills the gap and again attains the same great tone and hardness in due course of time.
Now, in my life, I've seen many types of immobilization.
Yes.
From plaster that covers the whole area to Chinese systems with just sticks and please.
See, immobilization, suppose one joint, say this is like radius and ulna, these are two bones, and if there is a fracture in either or both, then we have to immobilize both the joints where the bone is connected to. So proximal and distal, both the joints are immobilized. That can be by extrinsic mean, but now orthopedics has advanced so much that now internally they put rod and screw to immobilize it. So it is just not seen from outside. Just they insert screw or a rod connecting the two ends, the fracture ends, to immobilize them. So externally there is nothing.
No cast or anything anymore.
No plaster is required if that is done. But plaster is easier because it doesn't involve much invasive technique. From outside you immobilize both the joints which the bone is connected with, and immobilize it. Maybe it depends upon the age. If age is a growing age, say up to the age of 24, the fractures heal very quickly. Healing is within 1 or 2 weeks. but the original strength of the bone is attained in about 4 to 5 weeks. Therefore, this immobilization is kept between 6 to 8 weeks. But if the age is a bit advanced, say like 60 or 65 or 70, then relatively longer immobilization is required. But the healing takes place, and homeopathy has wonderful remedies for early healing of fractures. But one has to understand that when bone is getting fractured, which is the deepermost and strongest area in the organ, that means the impact is so much that even the joints which the bone is connected with, they also get some injury. So we won't get a simple like fracture injury and nothing else. We get overstretching in the joints, then muscle injuries, the blunt injuries also are there. So we have to take care of all these things when we are treating. Even there can be open wounds. So many times we have seen that when externally you are putting plaster, and if there is an open wound, we have to keep a window there for taking care of this open wound. So it's a complex thing, but very simple, that you just allow body to heal. See, putting plaster is something which facilitates the immobilization in the fractured part of the bone, and that anastomosis, end-to-end anastomosis comes and the filling is done, and maybe in the course of say 6 weeks to 8 weeks the bone is as stronger as it has been. So it's a very simple thing. Only thing is, sometimes if it is just a marginal hairline crack, it is difficult to diagnose. So it is again a skill of a clinician to suspect it and then have X-ray, because many times the fractures go unnoticed, and we have seen that after 3 months of injury we realize that it was already fractured before 3 months. So it can happen. Especially we have seen where the person jumps from height, and the elasticity or tone in the muscles is not good, and if there is element of osteopenia and all, the person may develop fracture somewhere in the back or scapula, because even if the person is jumping on feet, the spring-like action muscles try to absorb the injury like buffer, and injury can happen elsewhere. Because if the muscle is contracting so much, the tendons also are equally strong like bones, and if strong contraction is there, the bone may get fractured because of this impact or the severe contraction or buffer action of the muscle. So it can be like a communicated fracture. Injury is somewhere else, fracture is somewhere else. Sometimes we have seen that a trivial twist while walking in the ankle joint, and especially the females after menopause, they develop osteopenia or osteoporosis, and they get easy fractures because of such sprains. So it's very much essential to diagnose it, and once you diagnose, then things are easy to manage, because mechanically it has to be immobilized and it has to be allowed. There are some areas where it is very difficult to even immobilize. We have seen especially the fracture of clavicle. Then we have to put the number 8 like band around it and then do it. But fortunately, all this clavicle is the bone which gets ossified last. Say at the age of 24 or 25, it is ossified on an average. So there the healing also is very quick. But we have seen that people like getting fracture in say ribs. Now it's very difficult to immobilize rib because person has to breathe. Every minute 15-16 times one has to breathe. So there also we put some sort of structure so that the movement is minimized, and even then the healing takes place.
I've seen them wrapped with a bandage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
but overall body has mechanism to heal it, and fracture should not be a problem once they are recognized and managed well.
And how do you diagnose generally? X-ray?
X-ray is the confirmation. But first we suspect it with the movement. Suppose there is a fracture somewhere. With the movements we can definitely suspect it. Not only that, there is one what we clinically see, if there is a fracture, there will be excavation of blood and fluid in the vicinity of the area of injury. So we generally ask that swelling around the area. If it comes within minute, that means there is definitely a fracture. Within minute. And if we feel that swelling has come after say few hours, then it is a blunt injury and no fracture. So sometimes with history, local inspection, we get sometimes crepitus. The friction, when you press, the bones move, the fractured part. But hairline fractures are difficult to diagnose unless we take X-ray. Many times we have seen that clinically all the movements and all are healthy, quite normal, little painful. But then when we have X-ray, it is a hairline fracture in some part of the bone. And then because there is no dislocation, not much swelling also comes. But they are easy to manage once they are diagnosed early.
How do you treat these things homeopathically?
Homeopathy has wonderful remedies, like you must have heard Symphoitum officinalis. It's a wonderful remedy which helps in anastomosis, early anastomosis, and the bone tissue is like formed, the anastomosis is done, and the original grit and tone is attained. So Symphoitum. Then there are like Ruta. Ruta again helps in that. Yes, Ruta graveolens. That's a plant remedy which again helps. Then there are many remedies where like Hypericum, Staphylococcus aureus, because associated nerve injuries also will be there. And the best remedy we have seen is Arnica. Because Arnica, see, whenever there is a fracture, there would be hematoma, excavation of blood. And that hematoma also is absorbed by Arnica. Arnica is a wonderful remedy for absorption of hematoma without developing any infection or any complication.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.